Alright, cool. What's up, guys? Give everyone a second to get in. We got a lot planned for today. Just make sure everyone can get in here first, and then we'll start. Alright, seems like we're up and going. Cool. Alright, well, hey guys, today we're gonna be doing some more bug bounties. Today our target is Army.mil, which is a part of the Department of Defense program, Vulnerability Disclosure program. Um, we're also going to be going over some new tools and some creation of nuclei templates, which we can go over. All right. So nuclei runs off of all of these templates that are made for it. As you can see, we have a ton of CVEs, and they're all in these .yaml configurations. You have references, so if we go to one, you'll see that it shows the exploits here. So, oops. So a good way to find fresh bugs and bounties is to make your own nuclei templates, and then scan all the websites with that. So I recently started making templates, and although the XSS is firing on just IPs, this is just a proof of concept. So I made my own template for CVE 20, 2022 2035. So if we go see what that is, it's a reflected cross-site scripting vulnerability in this URL right here. So what I did was in our template here, I created a .yaml file, and I started copying over all of the content for the vulnerability. So you do the ID with the CVE name, you give it a name. So this is the name of the vulnerability, the author, severity, description, and then two references, which were the references I found for the CVE. Classification, just so you know the severity from here. And then request is where it'll actually make the request to see if the cross scripting is valid or not. So it'll make 3 requests to all these endpoints and try it on each one. And then matching condition. So if it matches the word in the body, loading engines content player with the header text.h or slash html and status 200, it'll be a valid cross-site scripting vulnerability. And as you can see here, I scanned Shodan, or I queried it in Shodan, and I downloaded all the IPs, and almost all of them were vulnerable to this uh, attack, which the title I did in, or the query I did in Shodan was title and then Rust etc. And this populated like a lot of IPs, and it let me scan all of these. A funny target on there, which I'm not going to disclose the full IP, which I didn't, was cdc.gov. It was the exact um, template that I used, and it it went off on cdc.gov. So that was my nuclei template. Um, where I get updated on the most recent templates is from this website right here, Tenable. They're a great security company. We can go take a look at how I find these new CVEs to make templates. So if you go to tenable.com/CVE, you can see the newest CVEs and the most updated ones. So basically what I did was I kept scrolling down, and I look into CVEs and I find that there's references, so I take a look at them. And from here, we just take a look, and if it shows a proper exploit, we can start crafting our template, but this one isn't a great reference. Let's try to find a cross-site scripting one. Cross-site scripting, whoops. So here, an authenticated cross-site scripting vulnerability. So it's not going to be as popular, but what I do is I take this, I go in URL, here's some more dorking, and I paste in that thing, and I try to find any websites that have it. Most of these don't, but once I find one, I'll test um, the exploit. If it works, I'll send it into Burp Suite, and I'll start crafting our template like that. So these are the main websites that I use for this. So I use NVD, NIST.gov. This is great for getting some description of CVEs. Tenable is another great resource. This helps me find um, templates that I can use, and Burp Suite, which I use to set up my .yaml file right here. Okay, so once I had my YAML file, I got all the IPs from Shodan, and we can test it here. Open terminal. So we're going to run nuclei, tech T for template, CVE 2020 tech 2035.yaml. And then we're going to do our list, and we're going to do shodan.txt. We're going to let that load, and in a second you should see all of the CVEs start populating. Now if we go to one of them, we're going to cancel that because it's going to start running them all on. So we're going to try to cancel it. but it's not working. Nuclei is taking over. As you can see, it does indeed work very well. So we're going to copy one. We're going to head over to Chrome, paste this in our browser, and this one didn't work, but that's fine. We can just copy, we copy one from here, and let's hope it works. And let's see why it's not working. Player config URL. Okay. We can keep trying. One day one will work. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, the cross-site scripting was popped. Now it's on an IP, so if you get cross-site scripting on an IP, it's not that dangerous because you can't steal cookies or anything like that. But just as it's a good proof of concept for what we're trying to do here. So like I said, there could be some false positives in here, as you saw before. But that's just a basic overview of creating your own templates. Another good way to check where your IPs lead back to from Shodan is using this .yaml, which is in nuclei uh, automatically. Is by doing nuclei/t for temp or tac-t for template, SSL DNS names, and then we're gonna do tac list URLs.txt, and it's gonna show you the names that it all leads back to. As you can see, it's only this one uh, website, but if you let this run for longer, you'll start seeing different names. This is a great way to identify bug bounty targets as well as some companies. So I've been creating some of these documents that will show my nuclei templates right here. As you can see, I created 3 so far. We can open up and take a look at these. So here's another cross-site scripting one. All of the ones I've done so far are cross-site scripting. But this is an interesting one because this one actually uses a post request. So it'll actually log in. It'll actually log in or attempt to log in with this test username. We can try to see if we will find anything. As a matter of fact, we can use this Shodan query. Let me sign into Shodan real quick. I'm gonna do it on my second screen. These are all just proof of concepts. Let me my Shodan. Okay, so as you can see, it's not as popular as the other one that we found, but we have some logins here. Now I'm not gonna test it because these are live domains and I do not want to get in trouble. But you could go from there. So anyway, it'll post this and then it'll have these supplements. So it'll test this username. And then if it matches the username test, the XSS will probably be exploited. And there you go. So you could just go on the Tenable website, get some CVEs and start making templates and start scanning the web until you find some valid bugs for bug bounty targets. Now, over the past couple days, I've been looking into some more tools for the stream. So, a couple we got here is Way0m. Way0m is a tool like Wayback URLs, but it grabs them from different websites as well, such as commoncrawl.org, Alien Vault, URL Scan, and whatnot. So we're going to be using this against At0m today. Now, before the stream started, I went ahead and got some subdomains, which half of them aren't even alive. I only did the first like 50 or one or so. So I'll be showcasing some tools on these. But we can get started on testing out these new tools. So with Way0m, all you gotta do is Python 3 waymore.py, and then it's tac I. We can do army.mil, and we'll do tac mode u. And as you can see, it's gonna get links from archive.org first, and then it'll go through all of those websites and try to grab unique URLs. So while that's working, we're going to go to our folder here, live, and we're going to check out some of these URLs while we're waiting for our scan to be done. And if you guys would like the link to Way0m, I'll send that in the chat, because this is a great tool to find new endpoints and whatnot. And we'll also be looking at some parameter finders for different things, which I'll show in a second. Excuse me, I'm having a snack. I just got back from work. Alright, let's take a look at these first 5 URLs. So you might have a common theme here, but we can just check them out. So this is very nice. This is a great start. As you can see, we have some interesting links already. So we have a search feature, and then we have some files here. So I'm just gonna get right into this, and we're gonna start hunting. So first, I'm just gonna take a look and see what. Okay. So as you can see, we need a login required to this interface, but let's just test all of the endpoints to make sure that none of them are open. Which seems like none of them are, which is okay. Now, I'm not really sure how this website will work, but I do see this wa.exe, which is pretty interesting, but I'm just going to try putting in calculator.exe and nothing happens, which is okay. I was just curious about what that would do. Search for unlisted lists, or wow, unlisted lists. So we're gonna first just type in a random word or a letter for the A list. Now this is good because it's reflecting in the page. So we're gonna keep testing. So we're gonna test if it has ability to render that. Okay. As you can see, list cannot contain space or special characters. Please use your browser back button and try entering the list name again. Okay, so I wonder if we just put in a full alert class, or will it just say, I can't find it. Okay, cool. So, we're going to start trying one tool here, which is Origin. I don't know how to say it properly, but it can find query parameters. Um, so as you can see, the parameter here when we search is none. There's none. Cool. When we click on one of these, we have this parameter. A0 is equal to, and then this equal sign and whatever that is. So we're gonna keep testing everything here, see if anything else gets reflected. So we do have another parameter here. So I see a 4, so I'm going to try to change it to 1 and see if anything happens. Okay. Alright. This is pretty interesting. And now we do not get the error, which is interesting. So we're going to keep messing around with this. Let me copy my cross-site scripting payload. And I keep hitting Control X instead of Control C. Okay. I'm just going to click all the buttons, see if anything will pop up. Put them into all inputs here. Nothing's firing. Next step is we can search for stored cross-site scripting. A good stored cross-site script, excuse me, a good stored cross-site scripting tool is XSS Hunter. It's free and it's a great tool to find stored cross-site scripting. So it'll call back to that server. So we can try this again. And if it was to pop up, it would be in this XSS fires. But as you can see, there are no fires. So our next plan of attack is going to be going back into Kali. We're going to take this endpoint. This is still going. It's going to take a while. It's pulling all the heroes. It might need a click or a couple. Let's see if what happens. Results. Okay, nothing. I'm just gonna run the normal one, and I am in the wrong spot. Okay. So now we're gonna run Origin. I don't know how to say it. On this domain. So what we're gonna do is I forget the. Here it is. So attack you. Oh, that was really hard. We're just gonna see if it has anything on the base layer. So it's gonna start analyzing the responses. While that's working, we're just gonna see if we can find any other pages here. So as you can see, we found another page, so we're gonna start testing here. Basically, all we're doing is inputting cross-site scripting payloads into the parameters that are given to us. And we're hoping that one of them fires one day. Can also check close. Nothing there. Nothing here. Alright. Our next plan is to test on our login page. Nothing here, so we're just going to do test at gmail.com. Test. See what kind of response we get here. Okay. Next is to do stored cross-site scripting here. Alright, nothing. Let's check back on our. See what we found. Name. Not sure what this does, but we can check. We're gonna go back to our scripts dot that, and we're gonna try that. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Way more is still working. Let me. I could just wait for it, I guess. We're still waiting for that. There's just so many. It's such a big domain that it's gonna be downloading a lot of domains. Okay, so here we go. So far it has found 9 different parameters, which is really good. There are some interesting ones here. As you can see, there's source, unlisted, height, position, index, left, and display. So we're gonna go back here, and as you can see, index, it did properly find one of them. So we're gonna try source, and if anything pops up here, okay. So we're gonna hit an equal sign. We still get an invalid parameter. If we try stored cross-site scripting on the parameter, nothing happens. And what about reflected? Okay, our next one was display. Let's just make sure that index is working still. Okay. So basically what we got to do here is we got to go through all of these and test each and every one. I'm sure there's ways to do this automated. You can with param finder in Burp Suite, but let's just test all of these. We're gonna do everything manually. Maybe on our last stream we'll dig into Burp Suite. For right now, let's just keep searching all these. So we did that. Let's try unlisted. Now, this tool could have pulled back some false positive. If you see, if we do on, yeah, so it could have pulled back some false positives, which happens a lot with automated tools. Some other things to look for cross-site scripting is more Google Dorks. On my page, I have retweeted a great tip uh, from BXMBN, and these are some of his dorks that he uses to find cross-site scripting. So we're going to do site army.mil, and as you can see, we get a lot of PHP um, extensions. So we're going to go and we're going to see to filter out some from, let's do like 2 years ago to then. Okay. So now we're just going to click on some of these. And as you can see, the .php. Oh, I'm going to maximize that. And hovering over some of these, we're going to check these for broken link hijacking. Um, hello bug and parkour. Where do I begin? You can watch some of these streams. We are showing you some of the basics of bug bounty hunting, as well as there's some great YouTube videos, and Bug Crown University also shows some great tips on how to get started. So, the thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up all these, and as you see, there is a Facebook, there is an Instagram, there is a Twitter, and there is a YouTube. Alright, so that's our first thing. Gonna scroll down and see if we have any input areas. Now, it's on home.army.mil, which is one of the biggest subdomains, so we're gonna stay off of that one. But this is definitely interesting. As you can see, it looks a little older. And we're gonna check these social media pages as well. So this is gonna bring us to the Corps of Engineers, which is pretty large, so there won't be anything there. But this is a very interesting subdomain. We're gonna keep this in. We're gonna do more testing on this actual subdomain later. Okay. This is taking a while, so I'm going to cancel that, and we can use this later. So I'm gonna add this to. Let's make sure we don't have it in here. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna add this into our list. Um, find us on Facebook. This is interesting. Okay, there's 0. Or so okay, wait, this is open still. This is a great, great website. We'll add this to our list. Anything that looks super old, not maintained, this is wonderful. So we'll get back to these in a minute. Let's close out some tabs here. All right, so we just check out some of this stuff. As you can see, we always have these IDs. We're gonna try just to put in some scripts here. See if anything fires. Nothing. All right, we'll get back to that later. I really want to be focused on this page right here. This looks extremely old. So as you can see, our first thing here is search the wiki. So we're gonna enter some cross-site scripting, and nothing yet. Title. We're gonna enter it into all of them. We're gonna see what gets actually reflected when I hit search. And we're just gonna click around. Okay. admin pages. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to have access to this. Okay. This looks interesting. Um, huh. Let's run this index.php through Argent. I'm not sure how to say it. I'm gonna keep messing it up. Attack U, and we're gonna let that run while we keep searching this. So this could be one thing. Admin pages, I'm not sure if we're supposed to have access to this. We can search that, nothing there. We can search for page. Oops. Nothing. Um, Permanent link. As you can see, there are some weird links here, or parameters. So we're going to test on all of these. And we found a new parameter, which is action dot or equals to edit. So if we go back here and we add this, can we edit it? Oh, so some of our features go away. So if we change some IDs here, let's see what happens. As you can see, now this isn't specifically a IDOR because we're not sure if we are supposed to have access to these pages, but this is a good reference to see that changing IDs can actually give us different information. I don't know what we're stumbling upon here. It's kind of hard to see. Here we go. So we have some type of wiki. Not sure exactly, but we can change all these this ID here. So if we go to ID 1, it's the main page. Let's hit ID 2, and then we start going from there. And as you can see, it's all of these pages. We have a lot of parameters. This is great. We have CPU time, which is interesting. Let's try to enter this and see what we can find with this. So do end CPU time. Let's go back to a valid page. 1. And let's add our new parameter, which is CPU time, which nothing seems to pop up, which is okay. We do have this title here. We could check and see if it will allow us to put in some things, so it will. Nothing is fired on my side, but this is just a good place. Main page and tiny. Okay, so if I change this action to right, I cannot. What if I change this to 2? Nothing. Okay, so basically right now, scrolling through everything, checking all the different parameters. Um, diff is ohm. Oh, here we go. So this is interesting. Um, we did next was our first one, and we can change this parameter to old, and we get some old links here. So as you can see, they got rid of that page and added some of these. All right, as you can see, these are right here. So let's just keep searching. Let's see. User, search. We could try search. Or no script, I mean. Nothing. Let's try wall time. I'm not sure what this does, but we can find out, if anything. No script equal to 1. Alright, nothing happens there. But as you can see, we didn't get a token or invalid parameter like we did before. Nothing with this one. We can try some others here. So you can see we have CSRF token, which is cross-site request forgery, which you can get into if we get into some applications. User is a great one. Let's try that. Users equal to 1. Users equal to admin. Users equal to user. Oh, I keep clicking on the wrong stuff. Let's try search again. Search is equal to 1. And let's try and user is equal to 1. Alright, nothing special there. I'm gonna take this link. We're gonna actually run it in nuclei just because it looks a little interesting. So we're gonna do nuclei. We're just gonna run it on the thing. So now you might see some uh things pop off right away. That is not all bugs. These are just oh, okay. I forgot to add the tag U. Some of them will be informative, as you will see. Uh, Once this boots up. So as you can see, this is just an informative thing. So it's a wireless application firewall detection of NGX or Nginx generic. And these are some security headers that it's missing. None of these are a valid issue. These are just some informative things. Once they start getting to low, medium, high, and critical is when we should really be worried or excited. Either way. So as you can see, this is the CNAME fingerprint, which is, oh, here we go. Here's our first bug we found on stream. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go to this page. Oh, whoopsies. We're gonna go to this page, and I keep messing this up. Cool. Copy that link, and we're gonna go here, and let's hope that it works. Seems to be loading, so we might have something here. Give that a second. In the meantime, I'm going to copy this CVE ID, paste it into our nuclei templates GitHub repository and see what it wants us to do with it. So we're going to do in this repository and nothing. Okay. Now let's see. I do have some nuclei temps in here that aren't in the public version yet. So 2020 2116. Now this might be mine. It could just be a false positive, but we can check. 2020, open folder. And let's search for that. Let's see what our thing is here. Okay, so this is mine. Let's try this entire thing. So let me pull up Burp Suite. See what else we got. We have a robots.txt endpoint. Probably nothing, but always good to check it out. Let's go to refresh. Alright, let's open up Burp Suite here. Let's give that a second to boot up. While that does, we're gonna get this ready. So if we check here, post, we're gonna copy our link address, and we're gonna just paste that here for a second, just so we can grab this. I'm gonna remove that. Put that right in here for our refer. Gonna save that. And we're gonna start up burp. Now this could be a false positive, but we can always check. Alright, so here is our burp suite. So I said we weren't gonna get into this, but it seems as if we are. Okay, let's open up this page. And go back into our burp suite, proxy HTTP, git, and we're gonna send this. Actually, we're just gonna turn on our proxy here, intercept that, and we're gonna paste in our template to see if we can actually get cross scripting. So, I'm losing my organization here. Where was it? Let me grab this. And burp suite, change this to post. And we're gonna throw in all of our, okay, never mind. nothing ever copies over properly. So let's delete all the blank space, I guess. It's going to be a whole lot of work for no bug. Keep on deleting. Almost there. And there. Okay. We're gonna change one last thing. That to that, and we're gonna forward it. And let's see if anything happens. 4 or 5 not allowed. Okay, so it's probably just the post method not allowed. So as you can see, that was a false positive, which sometimes happens. Let's continue on our search. So we had some other interesting ones that we pasted in here. So let's run a nuclei scan against this as well. So many tabs open. It's hard to keep track of all of them. Alright, so let's run it against this, see what we can find. Now most of these aren't going to be anything just because of how popular this program is. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to work on my template a little bit because we keep getting um, false positives. I'm gonna have to mess around with the matcher. It shouldn't be too complicated, but we will test that out. Why that is working, we're gonna do some more tests here, or Google dorking, and we're gonna fix that. See what we got here. Alright, some of these look interesting. Same website. Let's go to the default. Brings us there, okay. Let's just keep opening stuff. Here we have some social media pages. As you can see, not as popular as some other ones. So it's making us sign in, but let's just see if we can paste that and go to Instagram and see if any Instagram pops up here. Okay, so it does get queried, so we shouldn't have to worry there. Let's click on all of these. So there's our LinkedIn, Flickr, and YouTube, Twitter. All there, okay. Let's keep searching through Google. Haven't checked that one yet. Check this one yet. That one's not there. Okay, I was gonna try different endpoint. Check anything here. These look pretty updated. Of course, there could be bugs in them, but we're trying to find some outdated pages. is all going to lead back to that. Let's go back to PHP. Let's go to our last page, open up some of these. Alright, so this is the other one we were going to test, which we were testing. So it's a new WAF, which is mod security. Let's just click around for a little bit. See if we can find any interesting pages. Whoa. Okay, here we go. So this is interesting because we have a lot of input here. So let's grab our Proton mail and we're gonna enter that in once this loads. Okay. I copy that there. We're going to paste in our cross-site scripting payload. So for this, you would normally just try stored cross-site scripting. Phone, you can try inputs there, there. And we're gonna just hit a random thing. That. So this is good to always test your contacts us and boxes. So thank you. So sometimes you will get a error when you try to submit that, but this time we did not. So I'm gonna check my email here. See if I got any notifications for it. Nothing yet. What about my cross-site scripting hunter, Exodus hunter? Nothing. All right, so we're gonna let that go. We're gonna keep searching around. So let's check up on our nuclei. Some information there. So right now we're just going through all of the older looking nuclei websites. I mean, Army websites, and we're scanning through them. Now we're probably going to get our false positive again. But let's see. So there's our false positive again. Also, while we're waiting, let's open up Shodan. I'm sure we can get some websites from here. So I'm gonna open up some of these. And we're gonna try some of these as well. So let's try some of these Shodan IPs. Now I normally would use the command line, but for the sake of false positives, we're just gonna run it through that, as well as checking out. So as you can see, let's just keep opening some of these. Okay, I found an interesting one. I'll bring this over. Oops. Bring that back here. accessing U.S. government information system that is provided for USG beneficiary. Okay, so as you can see, we have continue to URL. So we could try to find some open redirect here by supplying it a different URL. Okay, we're gonna keep trying to find them. Okay, and nothing. So we have some more parameters, nothing. Just walking around on these pages, seeing if we can find anything interesting. Let's go back to Cali. Found nothing there. I'm gonna move that CVE so we don't keep getting false positive when we're scanning. Some stack trace errors on this IP, which isn't really an issue most of the times. Sometimes some programs will accept it, but most will not. CV21161. 211. Okay. Looks like we're gonna have to find it manually. We're gonna work on that later. Let me keep searching. See what else we can find here. This is an interesting one. Although it doesn't seem to be working now. Cool. Now what I'm doing is I'm searching by organization. So I'm gonna do org and then I'm gonna do 200, so that'll only give us ones that are alive. And we have a certificate here and we don't have access, which is interesting. Oh, where was I? So, as you can see, these are all of the U.S. Department of Defense's servers. So, a way to maximize our efficiency here, we are going to copy that query, close out of Burp Suite. What we're gonna do is go out a couple, and we're gonna go to army.mil. I'm gonna do shodan search. I forget how to put it in. I think it's just that. And then let me look. Shodan search examples. I'm not too familiar with the queries. Let's try. Let me try and find some. Forget how to put it. It was like field field IP underscore. Oh. forget how to use the CLI. This is wonderful. Um, let's, I'm just gonna download results because I forget how to use the CLI. But once this process gets downloaded, um, then we're going to be able to run a nuclei scan on all of the Department of Defense's IPs that are on Showdown, which is somewhere around 1,000. So we're going to hopefully be able to pop some vulnerabilities back in there. The thing is exporting now as we speak. Let me open up my email so I can grab it. Let me do that. Sorry for not showing anything on the screen. Let's try to open some of these while we're waiting. And, oh, there we go. So whenever it says that we have a ability to register an account, this is also interesting. As you can see, we cannot create an account. That's interesting. They use YubiKeys. Alright, I have the download right here, so let's open up Kali. Boink, boink, and is in JSON format. So it's going to be interesting to read. So what we're going to do is going to go to JSON parser online. Let me grab this for you guys. You guys can see this. And we're going to try to parse this just so we can get the IPs. Just so we can get the IPs. Let's paste. Oh, let's try to. Guess we're gonna have to paste the whole thing. They are not gonna like this because it's a lot to parse, and it's gonna like crash the entire website. Anyway, while we're waiting. Oh Lord. There we go. So if I can. Oh God. This is not working out how I want it to go, but that's okay. I'm gonna try to find how to use the CLI again because I forget. While we're doing that, this is a great tool for some more nuclei templates. It clones all of these GitHub repositories and removes duplicates. Let me try to find what I was looking for. I know it's on my profile somewhere. I posted it a while ago so we can use it later, but of course I lose it now. Just give me 1 minute. Keep scrolling. It's gotta be somewhere on here. As you can see, I'm trying to find the Showdown query of all my retweeted things because I know I have it somewhere, but but I cannot find it. So we're gonna this is very unfortunate. Um, does anyone know how to use the Shodan CLI? Because parsing a JSON file that large is not going to help. Org. Oops. We're just going to try this and see what happens. What if we do that? Okay. So that is kind of what we're looking for. But not exactly because we can't see. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to break my Kali Linux. Help. Tech H for help. We're learning together during the stream. So I know it is Shodan search. And then it is, oh, not that. So search org. And then how do we get, let me do Shodan search. I'm gonna do Shodan CLI search. Here we go. Let's do, aha, got it. Okay. So it will be that, fields IPs. And now we should get back just IPs. Cool. Now, of course, we could. Okay. I'm breaking my terminals as soon as we speak. So we're going to do Shodan. Let's go to desktop first. And we're going to run that to Shodan.txt. Oops. And there's only 35, which does not make sense. But sure. So we're going to do httpx list Shodan output alive.txt. And let's hope that works. And of course, it will not, because why is anything working today? Okay, we're gonna do it the old way then. We're gonna go here and we're gonna paste in that. So as you can see, we have 33,000, so we're just gonna do 200, and we're gonna get a lot of stuff, but we're gonna check some of the top ports, see if we have FTP or SSH open on any of them, which it seems like we don't. We're gonna check for port 80s. see what we can find on these. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. Okay. For official use only. Okay. Does anybody else think that I am not supposed to have direct access to all of their certificates? Oh, okay, so I could just, download their certificates. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a thing, but we're gonna try to search and that's not gonna work. So here could be one thing in itself. Not sure if we're supposed to have access to that. I'll keep that later and we're gonna, oh yeah, thanks. My Mr. Robot wallpaper. Cosmo, what are your thoughts on the um downloading all of the certificates right here? I don't think that's supposed to be there, but that's just me. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to download certificates like that, but I guess we'll find out. I found a couple other ones. Let's see what these are doing. Okay, just some warnings. We'll let this nuclei scan run. It's gonna take a while. Why it's doing that? We're gonna check the actual IP first. See if it has any vulnerabilities that are from here. Nothing. As you can see, it is by the Department of Defense. And this cannot be directly downloaded. But some of these can be, which are very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to keep this IP. I'm going to submit it and maybe we can get something out of it. Let me get some more results here that we can throw into a list. As a matter of fact, let's open up this Shodan list. Let's open up we're gonna sort by this. Give me 1 second. Getting all of these Apache. Save. Open up that. Open up some of these. Basically, all I'm doing is grabbing some IPs so that we can throw them into our showdown.txt. It'd be way easier if I knew how to use the CLI, which I will practice right after. So here we go. We're starting to get some interesting things. I'm just gonna keep opening up these. Okay, this one is interesting. Look at this. You just submit a session key. So what if I enter like that? It won't even let me. Alright, well we're gonna keep. Okay, I gotta move everything. Let's open up all these. Oh yeah. So once you get stuff like that, you better hope that you can find something in them. All right, so we're just gonna run these first four. Hopefully we can get something to pop early, so we're not sitting here the whole time. So now it's TXT, severity, low, medium, high, critical. That's gonna scan them. Why that does that? Let me pull up. So this is one of them. File not found. So a lot of this is just, going through a lot of data, trying to find stuff that either nobody else has seen before or that, what about if I hit no? Old stuff. I'm gonna test out this website as well. Let's hope it works. So, pre-built. Files containing juicy info. What if I do army.mil? Nothing. Oh, I see what it's trying to get us to do. So we're gonna do there's input .mil. Now we can use this and go Google Dorking. Most of this stuff is going to be purposely listed, but some you may find is not supposed to be. Some snapshots, some readmes, prior new version we provide. Please contact any member. You're going through all this stuff. You just have to ask yourself, should I have access to this? And if you don't know, just try to find things. Okay, let's see what we got here. So here is looks like some type of dump of data, and it seems to go to an OS file, but I'm not sure. Let's keep searching through, and those are just some activation files. This is pretty interesting. But as you can see, Google Dorking helps a lot in finding some great oh, this is cool, URLs and whatnot. So you can find some really interesting things that nuclei scans are just gonna run. You can try some more searches. Let's try sensitive directories, sure. Try builder. And then we'll do mill. Probably nothing. Documents of the revolution. No one cares about public documents of the revolution, sadly. we can try vulnerable files. So if we do .mil, try this, probably won't get anything. But as you can see, that's basically what we do. It's just search, just keep searching, and eventually you will find stuff. Next time I'm gonna have the Shodan CLI ready and properly set up because apparently I can't get that ready. But yeah, so that just showed you basically that not every time you hunt you will find something, although those certificates were something, so I'm gonna try reporting that, see if they will accept that. If not, that's okay. It was worth a try. Um, and yeah, so that basically showed you there are some like pretty old web assets laying out there that you might be able to find and try to exploit, as well as making your own templates and stuff like that. But from there, I think we're gonna wrap it up, and I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and hopefully you guys all have a good rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Cosmo, Bug, Johnny, Skeletron. Thank you all guys for popping in, and yeah, have a good day, y'all.